In John chapter 10, Jesus describes himself as the good shepherd. In fact, one of the characteristics he gives himself in regards to being the shepherd was that the sheep know his voice. And it brought to mind a story for me as a kid. When I was around 6 years old, my grandfather would have me come and spend the summer with him on his ranch. He actually raised cattle. I mean, I literally got to be a ranch hand, a cowboy for the summer. And every morning was the same. Around 5:30 in the morning, my grandfather would come into the room. The door would fly open and yell, "Time to get up!" I would come bounding out of bed. I'd throw on my overalls, put on my boots, put on literally a cowboy hat, and I'd go running out the front door. And we'd be climbing into his old light blue Ford pickup truck. We'd back that truck up to the hay barn. We'd be loading it up with hay, and then we'd head out to the back 40. And this is the part I loved. He'd pull the truck out in the pasture. The cattle usually were at a distance. He'd roll down his window. He'd stick his hat out, and he'd beat the side of the door. Boom, boom, boom. Then he'd yell, "Hey-o, cattle!" One time, the cattle would look up and begin to run toward the truck. I mean, they weren't actually getting their cardio in, but it was like a slow jog. So they're running toward the truck, and I was always amazed that morning after morning after morning, all they had to do was call, and they'd come running. Well, finally, one morning we were loading up the hay at the barn, and I mustered up the courage to ask my papa. I said, "Papa, can I call the cows in this time?" He said, "You can try." So my heart was racing. I was so excited because this would actually mean I am a true cowboy. I could call them and they'd come to me. Well, we pulled the truck out into the pasture. Sure enough, they were in the distance. And this time, he pulled the truck around so the passenger window was facing them. He said, "Roll down the window," and I did. He said, "Lean out and give it a whirl." So I leaned out the window, and just like my papa, I hit the side of the door 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. And I yelled in my, as loud as it could be, a grade school voice, "Hey-o, cattle!" Nothing. I thought, well, I can need to be louder. So I tried to be louder. "Hey-o, cattle!" They barely acknowledged my existence, and then they went back to chewing grass. My grandfather went ahead and just yelled right across me out the window, "Hey-o, cattle!" Sure enough, they came running just by his simple call. And he looked right back at me and said this, almost the same words of Jesus. He said, "I guess they only know my voice." You know, I want you to encourage you with something today that many times we believe and trust that God is attentive to our voice, but sometimes I think we wonder if we really can know Jesus' voice. And Jesus promises here in John chapter 10 that we can actually know his voice. And my question to you, in the midst of it all, do you believe that? Do you believe you can know his voice? And when he is speaking, are we listening? Are you listening? Trust him. When he speaks, you'll know it's him.